What's up, y'all? Um, first of all, I'm gonna say, first of all, bear with me because I always be forgetting these names and stuff. Bear with me. I just want to show that I appreciate commentary. I appreciate I appreciate engagement. Um, as the channel finally gets bigger, I might not be able to catch everybody, but in the meantime, I'm gonna acknowledge, people that's been engaging. That's just my little thank you to you. Um, so, Gray Fox Love, thank you for all your engagement and for the record, you don't have to worry about commenting too much. I appreciate the engagement and you didn't ramble. Your commentary was very good, and I appreciate the fact that you watched my video and you took the time to listen to what I was saying and how I articulated the subjects. And feel free to engage in the future, even if you don't agree. There might be some subjects you might not agree with. So, just let me know, and it's all good. Don't worry about it. I appreciate it because that's the most engagement I've really gotten since I've been doing this on a regular. Because I started this channel a year ago. I wasn't doing it consistently before then, but now I've been doing it, quite consistently. I've been putting out video after video. So, you know, um, just a little thank you for you know engaging while I take time out of my day to speak to you. So thank you. So today, um, um, I think this is a little sensitive subject. It's a little bit sensitive. I haven't really. I have, I've seen it. Everybody's posting on it now, and I really haven't seen too many takes on it. I haven't really watched the video because I don't want to. I don't know. I don't really like to dwell on these type of topics too much. But um, I saw it trending per se. I mean, I don't know if YouTube has a trending. I only see trending on Twitter, but I guess you could kind of say it was trending. Everybody's talking about it. Brother Polight. So he has been arrested on some allegations of raping a 14-year-old. Um, what I want to say about that is because some of his followers, to my understanding, are on that innocent till proven guilty thing, and rightfully so, rightfully so. But in some cases, I don't know if I can go with that innocent till proven guilty. I mean, I'm not gonna automatically condemn the brother, you know, but from what my understanding, there's DNA involved. And if DNA is involved, then it's a wrap. Um, I mean, what can you say that the DNA was planted? I mean, that's possible, but nah. And my thing on it is that as an adult man, I don't have no respect for any man that looks at a young woman, an underage woman, a certain way. And especially if you're pushing 40 and you're in your 40s or maybe even older. You have no business looking at this woman. I don't care if they look mature for their age. Especially if you know their age, they're not to be touched. They're not to be touched. And this is a serious subject, and there's a lot of that. It's a lot that goes on when it comes to that, and a lot of voices are not heard when it comes to that. There's a lot of embarrassment. There's a lot of shaming. Um, there's a lot of, misunderstanding and miscommunication. So I think we should come to a level of understanding and use this as an example to bring light to allegations like this. I think it's kind of ironic that this comes out when the R. Kelly trial started. Now, R. Kelly is a whole nother subject for me, and I know people feel a certain way about him, and they stopped listening to his music. I remember when it first was really coming out, and all these females was coming out, and they had that documentary Surviving R. Kelly, and everybody was calling to stop listening to his music. I'm gonna be honest with you, I still listen to his music, um, because at the end of the day, music is music. I'm not condoning his lifestyle by listening to his music. I'm also not making him rich because I already had the music. Um, but I separate music from personal life. Just like I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson, I didn't stop listening to his music because of the child molestation allegations. And it's a shame that they even came out against this man after he was dead. Like, you can't even let him rest in peace, and you're coming out with another story. And I blame Oprah for that culture. I believe she was behind the Surviving R. Kelly, and she was behind the new allegation behind Michael. I think really she should be ashamed of herself. It seems like her and Gail have this history of bashing black men. Now, I'm not saying all black men are the victim, and I'm not trying to make Brother Polight a victim. I'm definitely not. But at the same time, um, we have too much disunity in the community. Um, I'm I'm pausing a lot because I'm really thinking about it as I'm talking, and I'm trying to not say say things in the wrong way, or get my words misconstrued, because I'm definitely not for Brother Polite, and I'm definitely not for older men preying on younger women. Now, R. Kelly has been a lot of allegations about him over the years, and a lot of people, felt he was guilty the first time the allegations come out. They swore up and down um, that was him on the tape. I'm gonna say this, and I've been saying this for years, and I'm standing on it. Um, no matter what people's opinions are, your opinion is your opinion, my opinion is my opinion. But I'm gonna say this about the tape. I've said this back then, and I'll still say it now, that from what I saw, the tape wasn't clear enough for me to definitively say that it was him. Um, the lighting wasn't good enough. I mean, you could have, trust me, there's people that have a remnants of somebody. They always say there's a lookalike. I walk down the street all the time, and somebody be like, "Oh, you look like somebody I know." So I mean, and that's definitely not an excuse. And not saying that he didn't do it. It's not saying that, but I like I try to do, and I said in my previous video, I try to get your wheels turning. So I might be wrong. I might be wrong, but I still don't want you to go with just one narrative. Try to you know think of it in a holistic type of view. You know. Um, so the trial for R. Kelly started off with the prosecutor calling him a predator. Now, I don't know if that's true. The real thing of the matter is, the only ones that really know it's true is people that was there. People that can really attest for it. And the problem with you know, testimonies being solidified and being concrete. The problem with that is there's been so much of a history of women getting paid off to tell stories. And because the system has had a history of automatically believing the woman, they know it can fly. Especially, you got a big time star, and a lot of women find him attractive. He gets a lot of women attention, and he's making money. He's popping bottles in clubs and things like that. So he has this certain persona about him. So it's an easy target, and it's also easy for people to believe that he did a certain thing, right? But at the same time, you can't get too caught up in people's opinions, and you can't get too caught up in media because, as I always say, media has it indulges in propaganda, and that's including the news. Just because it's on the news doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Because if they want to promote a certain agenda and they want to be full of propaganda, they can do it. Because the media is one of the most powerful outlets out there. People believe the media. So all they got to do is spin a narrative. They can even dig up pictures of somebody and make up a story, and you will believe it. They could take an interview that's an hour long and take bits of that interview and edit it in such a way that you'll think that this person is saying a certain thing, when actuality, if you heard the whole interview, you would hear them explain what they're saying. But there's ways to edit a video just to put the pieces together that they want to put. They'll ask, and they're skilled at this. They'll ask certain questions to get a certain answer, so they know when it comes to the editing, they can put this together and say, I'm going to spin this narrative. It happens. So you can't get too caught up in what's going on in the media and how it's being portrayed. Doesn't say that this man is innocent, but I can't necessarily say he's guilty either, just because women come out the woodworks saying he did this and he did that. From my understanding, I guess they had new tapes or something like that, but I haven't heard of any tapes being shown. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, comment below and let me know. I haven't really, to be honest, I haven't followed it too much because I really don't like these kind of stories because it's really saddening and it's really disgusting to me. And it's crazy that you have thugs in jail who have no moral code when it comes to killing people, but they have a code when it comes to that. When they find out that you done molested a girl, you done raped a young girl, whatever, they have a field day with you in jail. So they if anybody gets guilty and they really are guilty, they'll get their just due. They'll get their just due, and rightfully so. I mean, if anything, I know maybe in certain cultures they'll cut off your balls for doing stuff like that, because it's a young lady is innocent, even if it's consensual. You have no business as a 37-year-old or even older to be touching this girl. You have no business. They're underage, man. There's millions of women out here. You can find one your age. You can even find one older, someone more mature. You get you a cougar or something if that's what you're into, and if a cougar is into you, somebody your age, somebody a little bit older. But the point of the matter is, You don't have to go. There's so many women out here. You don't have to go for these underage girls. I think there's something sick in your mind when you're preying on these young girls. So back to Brother Polight. Um, I also understand that he had allegations against him before. I don't know because I don't follow. If you don't know, let me backtrack a little bit. If you don't know Brother Polight, he is a guy who, if you're in the conscious woke community, he's a very big in that community. I mean, there's a lot of infamous people in the community. You got Tariq Nasheed, you got Dr. Boyce Watkins, you have Dr. Claude Anderson, you have Brother Polight, you had young Farrell, who now says he's done with blacks, and he doesn't care if white people would put blacks back in slavery. That's what he said. But that I say that, and that goes parallel to what I'm about to say, because I don't follow this conscious community for these simple reasons, because they spew out all this pro black stuff, right? And they gain this big old following, this big old amount of subscribers on YouTube, on Instagram, and they start making money off of this stuff, right? And they pro black, pro black, pro black, and they're kicking all this knowledge, and they keeping it real, and then somewhere down the line, you find out they're a fraud. I've seen this scenario too many times. Dr. Umar with his school, the young Pharaoh. Some people will talk about even people like Sinetta. Who else? Oh yeah, Boyce Watkins. Plenty of people will tell you he's a fraud. So you have these people in the conscious community that swear they so about the people, and they making money off the people, and then next thing you know, you find out they're a fraud. Now, Brother Polight, what I do know about him is he kicked a lot of pro black stuff, but then he was caught going, to different countries, having these shopping sprees. I mean, he's laced out. You see what he's making this money. And he's making his money off of you, and he's living lavishly. And not only that, he's screaming all this pro-black, and then you catch him in various times. He's been spotted with snow bunnies. He's been spotted with snow bunnies, but you're so pro-black. Now, granted, you like who you like, and I'm not one to say that you can't be pro-black and like white. But I personally feel like if I'm for my people, why can't I go with a young black Nubian queen? That's just personally how I feel. But there's plenty of people that was, straight up in civil rights, and they had white wives. You had Harry Belafonte. You had man, I'm drawing a blank. But you had a few people that was straight up, fighting in the civil rights, but they had white wives, white girlfriends. So I mean, I'm not one to really judge on that. Me personally, I feel like, how can I be for my people if I can't even pick a wife that looks like me? That's just me, right? So that's what I know about Brother Polight, right? And with him being exposed as a fraud, I wouldn't put it past him to have this sick mentality to go after a 14-year-old. I mean, if they arrested him, they arrested him for a reason. If they saying that there's DNA, and if this DNA is attached to him, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, and he shouldn't get any ounce of respect. He shouldn't get no ounce of respect for scamming the black community in the first place. But he definitely should not be getting any ounce of respect. Period. Right? I don't know if the allegations are true, but I'm going to take it as they are. And if they are, then he's a sick individual. And there's a lot of sick individuals out there, sorry to say. And a lot of sick individuals get away with it because um, you have cases where the young lady might come to their mother and say, well, so and so has been doing this to me and whatever, and the mother might not believe him because that so and so is the stepfather, that so and so is their very close brother, you know, and it happens very all too often, and because that happens, you have many young ladies who will not come out because they're in fear of them not being believed. Or it might be a threatening case because the man might sit there and say, well, if you tell anybody, I'll kill you or something like that. And they're liable to believe it. They don't know what this man going to do. There's too many cases like that. So, you know, if somebody comes out and says that, if they have enough courage to come to you, I would encourage you to believe them. I know if my daughter came to me, if she ever came to me with saying that, you know, you know, I don't know how I would react to it because I'd be ready to, I'd be ready to dump on somebody. I really would. I'm definitely not gonna discard her and believe the guy. I'd be like, oh no, he wouldn't do that. Nah, I'd be ready to dump. And so I encourage definitely mothers because 9 times out of 10 they'll go to the mother first. If they, you know, I mean, there might be other cases, but they'll go to the mother, and you know, I would advise the mother to listen. Listen, no matter how close you might be to the other person. I don't think this girl would make up this story for nothing unless she just, you know, not getting attention from you or whatever. But even if that is the case, first listen, get down to the bottom of it, and if it turns out not to be true, then you know you handle it accordingly. You know, you figure out something to do when it comes to that. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't know what I don't know what to do because anybody could say, well, I mean, if it's me, I'll do this and that. That's so easy to say, but you don't really know until you get into into the you don't know until it happens to you. All right, you don't know until the action actually goes into play. Right? Because I've witnessed it myself. I've heard people literally say, "Oh, yeah, if it was me, I wouldn't do something, whatever." And then I watched them get into the same situation and do exactly what they said they wouldn't do. So keep that in mind. You know, I can't really, you know, anybody could give advice, but my advice would be to, you know, listen and assess the situation and try to be as logical as possible. I know in the midst of it, you'll probably be emotional, but I always say logic over emotions because when you act off of emotions, 9 times out of 10, or 9.5 times out of 10, you're gonna make a mistake. You know, so keep that in mind, and you know, if you hear anything else or you have anything that I don't know if I didn't speak on, I mean, feel free to comment. But I didn't want to stay on this too long. I actually wound up staying on it a little longer than what I thought. But you know, I don't even want to stay on this too long, so I'm gonna just leave it at that. And it'll probably be my only video. I don't know. I don't know. I say a lot of times I'm gonna stop talking about stuff, and then I wind up talking about. Like I said, I was gonna stop talking about vaccines, and I did at least 3 videos talking about vaccines. So, you never know. You never know. But I really don't like touching these subjects too much, because there's a lot of sensitive gray areas in there. So anyway, just listen and be safe out there. You know what I mean? So and like, share, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. You like my content, let people know. If you think people are would like it too. If you know people that think like you and would like it too, let them know. I'm all open to new subscribers, and I thank all the new subscribers that subscribed recently. I appreciate y'all. So, on that note, I'm gonna leave y'all out. Peace.